More and more Americans, they're financing their groceries with this buy now, pay later financing just to survive. And many, look, they're not even able to pay those bills on time anymore. Meanwhile, Google searches for great financial crisis and great recession are exploding. Does that sound familiar? Maybe you're feeling it yourself. You know, that creeping anxiety, that tension when you open your bank app, that little voice saying, is it happening again? So today I'm going to have you see something you might not on CNBC. Why the American economy is flashing warning signs not many are seeing. And it's not going to get fixed. What 4 Chinese companies could offer you upside that American stocks might not. So just stick with me, because what you're about to hear and see could disrupt your next decade. So here's the uncomfortable truth. America looks fine until, imagine you take a camera and you zoom in. 60% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. Credit card debt just hit a record 1.13 trillion. Auto loan delinquencies are rising. And now people are borrowing money to buy food. In every major recession, 2008, 2000, 2020, the warnings came long before the headlines admitted it, right? So you can feel it before you can see it. And the last situation this many Americans were financially stretched was right before the 2008 crash. And at this point, it's not just housing. We're looking at groceries, healthcare. It's basic survival. And nobody is coming to save you. Not the Fed, not Congress, not Wall Street, and I don't care who you voted for in the White House. They're not coming. The American middle class is quietly getting banged out, hollowed out, which leaves you with maybe 2 choices. Now, you can pretend like a dummy it's magically going to get better, or you could start looking at where the next opportunities are building, my friend. But what if the next great opportunity isn't inside America at all? So let's talk about something nobody wants to admit. China isn't collapsing. They're adjusting faster than anyone expected. In fact, the trade war, the tariffs, the tech bans, all of it forced Chinese companies just to get more independent, faster, and better. Chinese AI companies like DeepSeek are now scaling and rivaling American models at half the cost. The semiconductor firms are innovating around US restrictions, and they're just building their own next-gen chips. The Chinese consumers, they're wealthier, younger, and tech-savvier than ever. The country you were told would collapse is quietly winning on several sectors. And investors who see it are getting ready. They're in the same spot US investors were in 2008. Where stocks were cheap, pessimism was everywhere, and fortunes were made for the few who were moved early enough to grab them. Now, inside China, you have 4 companies that truly stand out today as rare opportunities. So let's break down each one, because understanding this is maybe the competitive edge you're looking for. Number 1, you may have heard of it, Alibaba. Alibaba is China's e-commerce king. Okay, beyond retail, cloud services, digital platform, logistics. Despite tariffs, Alibaba is growing faster inside Asia. And so think Amazon, AWS, and Square all rolled into one company. And if you look at their recent data, Alibaba Cloud is the largest cloud player in China. Their singles day sales still shatter global records. And their new push into AI-driven logistics is incredible. So why is that important? As internal Asian demand builds, Alibaba gets bigger without relying on our Western markets. And number 2, you may have heard of this, JD.com. So that's China's answer to Amazon, but better in some ways. They have 250 million active users. They have drones packaging their deliveries. They have major investments in product discovery, AI, logistics, and if you look at recent data, they got product launches up to 130% year over year. Duran sourcing, their partnership, shows mastery over these like little niche markets. Their JD marketing basically helps set them up for mass email lists. And their logistic mastery is what built Amazon, is what JD has down to a science. Another company is called Baidu. It's known as China's Google, but it's evolving. They have autonomous driving tech cars, which are incredible. They're leading. And they have a massive AI research firm. They recently did a collaboration with CATL for their driverless vehicles. They have open source Ernie 4.5, which models the ChatGPT. And they're, not just a company you want to underestimate. Why? Because they're not just surviving. They're actually one of the leaders of this autonomous revolution in AI in China. Another company is Tencent. They have WeChat Pay, which dominates mobile payments. They have a gaming division, which still generates a tremendous amount of global revenue. And they're investing a lot into cloud infrastructure, okay? Tencent isn't a one-trick pony. It's literally a tech empire. In a world where American, expansion is slowing, these companies are just stepping on the gas, okay? But what if China is growing, and why are most Americans too scared to invest there? So let's talk about the biggest myth that's destroying your portfolio right now. Let's just tackle it head on, all right? Isn't it risky to invest in China? Look, the short answer is yes, but not investing globally today is even riskier. Because the long answer is every major Chinese stock we're talking about, Alibaba, JD, Baidu, Tencent, has Hong Kong listings. They can be bought internationally even if the US regulations tighten. Delisting fears mostly are already priced into the market. And here's the bigger point that I have for you. America's own economy. Here, we have massive risks. Banking stress, ballooning debt, political division. You're not safer by staying 100% in American assets. You're largely defenseless, you're vulnerable, and you're ignoring the rest of the world's growth. So listen carefully. Diversification is not betrayal, it's protection. It's financial survival. But even if you notice, there's a bigger problem if you're trying to trade this market. Let's talk about the hidden danger hobbyist day traders are facing right now. You see, in theory, recessions are good for traders, right? High volatility, big swings. But in reality, most hobby traders are getting crushed. Why? Because you got fake breakouts, you got these sudden reversals. Markets are moving on news, not fundamentals. You can't just pattern trade 2020, 2021 style anymore. This environment demands serious strategy, real risk, and real risk management. That's why the PN and Friends community that I co-founded in 2021, one reason why it exists. We do weekly breakdowns of global trends, where is money moving and when. And you get coaching from serious traders, not just these influencers. Because during recessions, the people who understand macro forces have a good chance of winning. And the people chasing TikTok patterns just get wiped out. So if you know the danger and you see the opportunity, the only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Now, here's where you are right now. You can wait, you can hope, you can wish. Assume this American system will work itself out. Or you can think bigger. Diversify your knowledge, diversify your strategy, diversify your portfolio. Not out of fear, out of wisdom. The PN and Friends community isn't just about trading tips. It's about building a competitive edge that could survive and thrive through this coming storm. You get weekly global market coaching, serious supervised education on US Chinese stocks and crypto. We have a private Discord community, over 40,000 members, serious trend spotting, and it's all backed by our simple promise. If after 7 days you aren't blown away, I'll refund you 100% of your money. Just email me why you didn't like it, and I'll buy you a cup of Starbucks coffee. No risk, no pressure, just a chance, a shot to be early, a shot to be smart, a shot to be ready. If you're serious about surviving and even thriving with what's coming next, click the link in the profile. Join me today before this window closes, because when the dust settles, it'll be far too late to catch the trends that were right in front of you.